has multiple different product categories that cover multiple vertical markets. So today we're going to talk about a content campaign that is related specifically to the assembly tools market that I cover, and those are products that are used to manufacture within the four walls of a plant where they're assembling finished goods. And historically, we had a different kind of approach to sales. We took the approach of a focus with salespeople in person, speaking to engineers to educate. This was a little bit old school, so moving to a content marketing plan was a big shift for us. So the barriers that we were facing, Ingersoll Rand Power Tools sells through two-step distribution sales model, so we are farther away from the customer. That's harder when you're trying to educate engineers about what products you need. We also happen to have, before we contacted Portavoce PR, a launch and leave strategy with new product launches where as soon as it was complete, you were kind of pushed on to the next product and you were running as fast as you could. This was not a great strategy when we were so far away from the customer. We had a lot of barriers with longer term sales cycle with more complex products that lasted up to 6 months. That led to unhappy sales staff because conversion rates were low. We were also purchasing contact lists to fill our sales funnel. This was not a great solution for us because at the time, those were poor quality leads. They weren't necessarily qualified in the appropriate vertical market to meet our customer needs. Also, at this point, marketing was really a cost center for the business, which, as most of you know, it's really hard to justify to get more budget if you don't have appropriate ROI.
That term, launch and leave, really makes me want to break out in a cold sweat. But I think it was very common also across all of the strategic business units in the industrial group at Ingersoll Rand that we saw as we started to work with them. Just like Patrick talked about this morning, Gartner backs up everything Patrick said about that sales buying process in B2B. And I'll say it again, but so 17% of your buyer's time they'll be spending with you on the phone or in person. Most of their time is going to be spent researching alone online. So today we're really going to talk about that 27% of time that they're spending in the buying journey researching on their own. How will you be there? How will your brand be in front of them? And how will they find that content so that you enter into that RFP process? So just like Patrick said, again, Gartner backs it up. The top 3 sources that they're going to turn to throughout the buying journey, no matter what age they are, millennial or not, they're going to be turning to your own website. They're going to be looking for experts like analysts, journalists, bloggers, reviewers about what they're saying about your products and solutions. And then lastly, they're going to be doing web search. So today we're really going to break down how to create content that's going to show up in all 3 of those channels and more.
Yes.
Oh, geez, look at this cute little baby.
Looks like a future engineer to me.
Yes, definitely. I mean, she's wicked smart because she's just an infant and she knows how to read.
And she's clearly absorbing content at a very fast rate.
Yes, so definitely she's going to be one of our future women in STEM. So as engineers love content, and again, Patrick already presented all of this morning, an average of 20 pieces of content they will consume a month. So how will you be present in that content and get a piece of that pie? We also know that they're looking at a lot of diverse content, and they're looking at all of it through all different stages of the buying journey. And so when you see this, all these colors and charts, it starts to feel overwhelming about how will you ever keep up with that hunger.
Definitely. So from our perspective at Ingersoll Rand, we look at the buying journey that our end users and customers are taking, and we want to make sure that we are available with educational, problem-solving, solution approach type material in the way the end user wants to receive it, and how and when throughout that entire buying journey so that we're at the forefront of their mind as they go through that decision-making process.
Yeah, and that was a huge shift for Ingersoll Rand. Much of their marketing resources had been spent at that point making what we call ad flyers and PowerPoint presentations for sales, and it was very much just sales-driven, not buyer-focused content. And so we set out to change that. And so together, Adrienne and our team created a process of how do we get started? We start by using one long format article.